great honor to feature Mr. Deepak Khetrapal, an eminent alumnus of Shri College of Commerce, in the Know Your Alumni Series that has been launched in the run-up to the centenary of the college in 2026. It's a privilege for us to talk to you and to hear about your journey which started from Shri College of Commerce. Mr. Khetrapal has been in SRCC from 1971 to 1974, and I would request him to initiate the conversation with a brief account of his travel since then.
Thank you, and thank you, Professor Chaudhary. Thank you, SRCC, for giving me the honor of being featured in the production that you're doing for the centenary year. My journey after leaving SRCC has been phenomenal. I think it's what I keep saying, I've perhaps lived a life which is dreams of most of the people. And the good part was that I actually got into the job very quickly. As Professor Chaudhary said, I passed out in 1971. And in 2025, I have recently retired after having completed 51 years in business corporate life. As luck would have it, I actually had to get into a job. I needed a job. And fortunately, I got the job even before the results of my BCom honors course that I did had come out. I appeared for an exam. A week later, I was in a job. And my first job was at the Oberoi Hotels in Delhi. The hotel still works, and that's where I started off. From there, I went into banking. State Bank of India was the institution that actually brought me up in my skills for management, leadership skills. After working for the bank for about 16 years, I moved on to the industrial corporate sector. From 1994 onwards, I've been managing director, CEO of a few listed companies in India. And the end of the journey now is, like I said, few weeks, couple of months ago, I finally got my retirement. Because at about 70, when the company law comes in the way of a professional continuing as the managing director, so finally the age comes to my rescue, and I'm enjoying my leisure and getting deeper into my hobbies, and want to sort of keep improving on the other sides of my life beyond the corporate world.
Oh, that's wonderful. 51 years is more than half a century.
That's right.
So as a youngster entering the college, would you remember your first day in college?
Oh, absolutely. It all comes back. The moment you sort of think back. And those are the events, those are the instances you actually never forget. As any youngster, I think even today that will be true. When you walk into the hallowed precincts of SRCC, you are nervous, you are unsure. And that happens on top of the fact that you're very excited that you managed to get admission into SRCC. So if today's generation believes that getting admission into SRCC is difficult, ask me, even 1971 it was as difficult, because you had 250, 300 vacancies, and the college will take the top 250, 300, whether you score 70 odd percent or you score 90 odd percent. The number, the cutoff will be determined on relative basis. It was never in absolute terms. So there was a huge amount of pride, a huge amount of, I would say, satisfaction that I've finally made it to a college which everybody who wants to pursue career in commerce dreams of. But at the same time, I'll be frank with you, Professor, one of my big handicaps and why I was more nervous than perhaps many other classmates of mine, that I had come from a Hindi medium. And SRCC was an English medium college. And it actually bothered me. It actually also came in my way for a while, till I decided that I cannot allow language to come in the way of my life. So I overcome that. And now I'm talking to you and you make out whether I do all right or not. Thank you.
I can think of Shri Arun Jaitley, and in conversation you did mention that Justice Sikri was also your batchmate.
Correct.
What does it feel now that you look back Because those days maybe they were classmates and seniors, not what they came, what they became later on.
True.
So, how does it feel?
Honestly, there's no difference in feeling. We still remain close friends. Justice Sikri is still Arjun to me. Arun Jaitley was always Arun as long as he was alive. So, fortunately for us, irrespective of what positions we've gained in life, some people went into legal practice. Arun, from there, as you know, Justice Sikri you mentioned just now, he obviously reached the pinnacle. He became the member of the bench of Supreme Court of India. So Arun Jaitley obviously went into politics after practicing. He also practiced for a while, and then he went into politics full time. Rajat Sharma, another contemporary of ours, who's been a very noted journalist, and there are several stalwarts, as you mentioned. I wouldn't call myself a stalwart, but lots of people who are not in the corporate world, and when they hear about 31 years as managing director CEO, some people start calling me also somebody who should be. But frankly, we're delighted that none of the positions that we hold or none of the roles that we play. When I say roles that we play, that reminds me of another classmate of ours, equally close as Justice Sikri is, Gulshan Grover. Many people would know him as the actor, the villain.
The bad man.
Yes, the bad man. Very dear friend. The roles that we play, right? So, irrespective of who Gulshan has become or Arjun has become, many other friends, I don't think that has ever impacted our personal relationships, and that's so lucky. We really feel fortunate that all of us maintain that bonhomie, the brotherhood, the friendship. Absolutely, no change.
Maybe you've had occasion to visit college campus later, despite not being in Delhi for a while.
Right.
How does it feel now when you walk in? Is it nostalgia, or is it something that you look forward to from the institution?
As you would expect, nostalgia is natural, right? The foremost feeling is of nostalgia. I remember, yes, I've been to the college later, but I went to college nearly 45 years after having left it for the first time. And you want to go back and look at the classroom where you used to sit. It's very natural. In fact, that time people asked us, where did you spend most of your time outside the classes? Obviously, it was the common room, it was the canteen, and we went. I mean, 4 of us friends had gone together to the college campus, including Justice Sikri, including Gulshan Grover, and the 4th person with us, another dear friend called Raman Nanda. He is based in Pune now, long illustrious corporate career. All 4 of us. Not just common room, I think, had been converted into something else. It was not available to us to visit. We went to the canteen, ordered one bread pakoda.
It has become the seminar room now.
Okay. So we went to the canteen, and one of the famous things from our time at SRCC used to be the bread pakoda of Shri College. Stephens was always famous for the scrambled egg, and Shri was bread pakoda and chole bhature. So we had one bread pakoda between the 4 of us, and we had fun. But besides the nostalgia, I think you still feel proud. You still feel proud because the institution that we left more than 5 decades back has maintained its standing, remains as aspirational for any young person to get into. That gives you a lot of pride. Shri College of Commerce is best known for its undergrad level programs. We need to now work towards creating an institution which does postgraduate level programs. Beyond that, the PhDs, the research papers, the books being written for the general world, not just the students of commerce. Those are the things I think where focus, attention, resources, investments are required for the college to get. And I can say on my own behalf, within my resources, if whatever support I can lend, whichever way I can contribute to the further progress of SRCC, will be a matter of pride for me. Really. Teachers, of course, are the
Anyone in particular?
Well, let me now think. Obviously, Shri has always had a great faculty. So to pick and choose a few, but some people who made a huge amount of impact, as I think, there was one Professor Braj Kishore, He taught us Indian economy. One teacher who, so erudite, so I would say completely well read on the subjects he will come and teach you, and his delivery was just perfect. So he made a lot of impact on many of us. Professor KPM Sundaram used to teach us economics, legendary professor at undergrad level. In so many books he has written and everything. We had Professor I.M. Pandey, who later on moved to IIM Ahmedabad.
Yes.
Professor Ahuja taught us income tax. There was one Professor D.K. Rao. He used to teach us central banking. And what mastery on the subject of central banking, right? So I think I'm taking the names more which have been more on the economic side, but the fact is Professor Pandey was, accounting, cost accounting, commerce, management accounting, for sure. Who taught us? There was another paper called Business Organization. Maybe the paper itself had its limitations, at the undergrad level, to understand what business organization can be.
Were the societies active at that time, the Students' Union?
Oh, that's a point which I think today's students may not even relate to. Early 1970s, my batchmates, contemporaries. This was one time, if people today believe the youth is frustrated, he should have met us when we went to the college. It was one of those areas where getting employment used to be difficult, and there was so much angst between the youths, emerging youths of Delhi University that we saw. Elsewhere, I'm sure it must have been there, but we also saw that. Arun Jaitley actually was one of the leading lights of the Students' Union in Delhi, even before he became DUSU president. Okay. At the college level, when we met him first, he was elected the vice president the second year, and Shri used to be the president of the union. It was so difficult for us day scholars to get from where we used to live in Delhi to even get to the college and university. Transportation was very poor. Facilities were very difficult to come by. And in that atmosphere of anger and frustration and things like that, the unions actually were not just active, they were, I would say, fairly aggressive. The number of student strikes that we've seen during our time, I don't think has been repeated ever again. But the good part was when the student movement gained power, lots of changes came about. Especially bus services from various parts of Delhi to university specials, right? They were there, but nobody used to take responsibility. Whether they'll come, not come, suddenly the bus has not come, you're running around. I'm told during our time in college was the first time when a new student pass, all Delhi, is unlimited travel, was introduced at 12 rupees 50 paisa a month. I'm told that still stays at 12 rupees 50 paisa. Somebody recently was telling me.
It stayed 12.50 till the end, but I think with the coming of the Delhi Metro, few specials have been withdrawn.
Oh, withdrawn, okay. No, that pass that I'm talking about was actually not just for you specials. You could travel anywhere in Delhi,
all route
unlimited
bus
travel, all route bus pass. That 12 rupees 50 paisa. That was I think the biggest gain of the Delhi.
Well into the 90s it existed.
Yeah, now imagine, so it came about in 70 to 73. And if more than 20 years it didn't move from there, that actually was, I'm sure, something which was the result of the pressure that the unions could exert on the Delhi administration, or on it used to be initially called Delhi Transport Corporation, DTC.
DTC.
And then it became,
it continued.
It was DTU, it was Delhi Transport Undertaking, which became Delhi Transport Corporation. It was an undertaking, and then they created a corporatized version. That's what we teach at SRCC, right?
And, on that line, what is it that SRCC does to people, to students? Because at some level, we attract some of the best students with the high cutoffs and everything. What is it that students carry with them, according to you?
I think the biggest takeaway, I don't know what they're carrying today. I can talk from my personal experience and my contemporaries. I think what we carried from SRCC was that biggest thing was the quest for excellence was embedded in us. and that never leaves you if you have imbibed that at SRCC. Quest for excellence is multifold, but also at the same time, the rigor that goes into anything that we do, the depth of understanding. We talked about professors. Now, what did they do? They didn't just teach us the subject. They gave us a hunger for knowledge. And I would say an obscure paper like central banking, if I'm talking about Dr. D.K. Rao even today I can actually talk to the board of Reserve Bank of India and make sense out of what they do and how much of that I understand. And all that came from Dr. D.K. Rao way back in 1973.
What were your extracurriculars in college?
This largely used to be common room. And the only way for me to relax was in the common room. I tried my hand at table tennis, but I think carom was the game on which I did quite well. I participated in the tournament also, and my partner there was the other friend I talked about, Raman Nanda. So Raman Nanda and me were the carom partners. So carom is one of those memories. Even now when me and Raman meet, we must get back to carom together.
In the earlier conversation you mentioned photography and piano.
Yes.
How did you get into photography? At which stage?
Photography, let's face it now, if you talk about 1970s, it was unless you were affluent, unless you have enough resources, you couldn't lay your hand on a camera. It was a rich man's tool, right? And even then you would get very ordinary cameras. You would be enthusiastic, but your equipment would not be good enough. I got that opportunity when I was working with State Bank of India. In 1981, I got posted to Hong Kong. And Hong Kong at that time, for people who do not know it, till 1980s, I would say, Hong Kong was the heartthrob of Asia. Before Margaret Thatcher in 1982 went to Beijing and considered that it will go back to China in 1997, you can't believe what Hong Kong was like when I landed in Hong Kong. And that was the place where the first time you saw, oh my God, you walk into a camera shop and you just, thousands of cameras and models available. And one of my colleagues at State Bank of India, he was a photography enthusiast. So inspired by him, slowly, gradually I made a man. I picked up my first good camera, which was a Nikon camera. And Nikon also, it was Nikon FE, the model that I still remember very clearly. Mechanical camera with film, and also that's what set me up. And I continued with that, and I continue to sort of, now that I'm retired, I want to spend more and more time traveling and doing photography. So that was one thing. Piano actually was I would say, a very late acquisition of habit. It just actually happened just about 3 years back. Piano as an instrument, its sound somehow I find the most pleasing anytime any song I'll pick up piano very quickly when it's there in the background. Most of the people will even miss it, I'll know, oh, this is piano. And I think I love this instrument, and I must find an opportunity to be able to play it. So about 3 years ago, I got a tutor. I actually before that I bought a piano, and you can imagine there was a lot of resistance from my wife. She said, piano is a big thing, it's expensive, I don't even know whether you'll pursue with it. She forgot I was from SRCC. Once I pick it up,
You've been in this industry for several decades. What would you tell our students as to how industry looks? What capabilities do they look at when they are taking students?
The thing which students from any institution, more so from SRCC, what we look for are the analytical skills, the thinking capability, the ability to make sense of data or information that is in front of you. That's something which kids come with. What I think we miss, and I can talk about from decades of experience, and it's not just SRCC, I'm talking about, I've actually gone and spoken to even management schools and told them, our education system teaches people well, but all the time, not just education system, even our social system, the parents. The pressure is on the individual student to do well. Organizations need people who work well together with other people, the colleagues, the collaboration that we do. And that's something which I think the entire education system, most importantly maybe SRCC can take a lead. How do we produce students when they come out? They have learned to actually collaborate, work in a team, play multiple roles, different roles where the team needs them to play. That's one thing we definitely miss, because even when they come into the organization, they're all the time competing with other colleagues. That doesn't work. In an organization, there has to be a collaborative effort for you to be able to achieve the organizational goals, right? And that's the big miss from our education system and the output that we get.
You know, there is nowadays a lot of emphasis on group activity amongst the students.
Right.
I also noticed that in extracurriculars, for example, they do a lot of teamwork, team effort to even put up festivals like Crossroads,
Right.
which keeps them occupied. But on a very different note, the SRCC alumni, you know, it spreads across the globe,
Right.
and you know, they're occupying very responsible positions. They're almost like brand ambassadors. When you know we look at the alumni, we think of them. Oh, it's SRCC all over.
Absolutely.
What would you tell the alumni of SRCC on its centenary year?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate all the alumni who graduated from, in whichever year. Any institution which is going to celebrate a centenary soon is a matter of huge pride. So that's just the first thing. More importantly, I think what I keep telling myself, what I would like to tell all my contemporaries or my predecessors or people who come out later, we owe a lot to SRCC for having made us into who we've come to be by now. It's time for us to give back to SRCC in whichever way we can support the efforts of SRCC. I think we should come forward. The most important resource I think that we will bring to SRCC if we come together is the resource of our actual hard experience in the industry, in the business world, or in the society, in the communities.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And it's been wonderful talking to you. I wish we had you over to college soon enough. Maybe we'll have an occasion for that. The centenary celebrations are due to be inaugurated in January, so we'll look forward to your active participation in the celebrations. It's always good to turn back and talk to students who have graduated from SRCC, because there is the possibility of a reconnect, and that reconnect with our current students, I'm sure, will go a long way in motivating them in finding their role models from the fraternity itself. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and let me put that on record. I'm more than delighted to visit the campus, to interact with the students, even interact with the faculty if it helps. Always there at the disposal of SRCC.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks.